Hi and welcome to Puzzle Pieces. In each episode we take a look at a different sort of puzzle, and at the moment we're playing through a game called Paradox of the Cryptomancers. So we're on our way to level 6, so we're in the lift at the moment. The doors have opened and we'll step out. So the first thing we see is an empty room with a large passage of text written on the wall. Now, looking at this text, I see by your eagerness and the wonder. This doesn't sound like it was written for the game. This sounds like it's a quote, a passage of text from a novel or something like that. And in fact, as you go through the level, what you'll find is that there are a number of such passages of text. So we've got some sort of slightly funky textures here. We've got some snow particles, and we'll get shorter passage this time, mentioning the snow, so you'll think, well, maybe the snow's significant. We've got some more text here. So this is going to be a text-heavy puzzle in this one. And sort of having decided that that was significant, I suppose the first thing I then decided to do was to go back and see if I could find the source of the text. This game, like many puzzle hunts, doesn't really have explicit instructions as to what the puzzles are. So the first thing you have to do is to actually sort of work out what the puzzle is and what you need to do before you do it. But the sort of the general rule to follow is that with any piece of information you're given, sort of try to work out as much as you can about what you have, because that might sort of lead you to find out what you're meant to do. So this passage of text here, what I did was just Googled the first few words in the phrase, and sure enough came up with the source from which it's taken from. So this is from the novel Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. The only difference, however, is that it's had a few words added to it. So on the top line here, the word "the" does not appear in the original text. And a bit lower down, we've also got the word secret and the word needed. So they've been added in the game compared to the original. And with those being the particular words, the secret needed, I'm kind of thinking, okay, well that sounds relevant to a puzzle game where I'm sort of trying to unravel secrets and things like that. So let's proceed with that kind of technique. Now, this one here, this is a fairly short sentence, so it's a bit harder to obtain the source, but it looks like it could be taken from Dracula's Guest, a short novel by Bram Stoker. And the snow here kind of carries on into the next room, and sure enough this passage here is definitely from Dracula's Guest. So I'm wondering if the snow is kind of being a thematic link between pieces of text from the same novel. And in this case the words "to proceed" have been added in. So okay, we seem to be getting somewhere. The secret needed to proceed. It sounds a bit like we're being given instructions. We've got even more snow in this scene here. And in this one on the top line, the words "would be" have been added in. The rest of it seems okay. So we'll continue. More snow, more brown walls, and more text from Dracula's Guest. And in this one, it's the word "these" near the bottom. Okay, so the secret needed to proceed would be these we've got so far. These what? Well, at least the snow's stopped. And we'll carry on. Now we're in a new room. There's a nice armchair. There's a painting on the wall. So this is Lord Byron, the English sort of aristocrat and poet. And we've got a passage here. Now, but this is not by Lord Byron. This is from The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. But the word "words" here has been added in once she began to sing words in a hoarse voice. So we've now got the secret needed to proceed would be these words. And we seem to have a different thematic element here. So now we're looking at sort of a raging fire. And indeed, we are looking at a different source. Now, this one is by Lord Byron. This is from the poem Darkness. But actually, the text here seems all okay. There's nothing changed. It's a little bit hard to read because of the flames. but it seems okay. There's no errors or omissions or additions to note. However, in this section, which is still from Darkness, we've got the words hashed, or the word hashed rather. And if we proceed any more, we come around the corner here, just step through that fire there, we get to the console at the end of the level. So every level in this game has a computer console that looks like this, where you need to enter the password to go on to the next level. And the password might be a phrase or a word or something like that. So we've been given no explicit instructions, but just having studied those passages of text and looking at the added words, we've got an instruction of sorts. The secret needed to proceed would be these words hashed. Okay, well, hashing is obviously a cryptographic function. So the next thing I did was went and found an online hash generator. And this is the first one that Auntie Google brought up. So there's a couple of different hashing functions you can use. I'm going to go for SHA-256. It's got the biggest number on the end of it, so therefore it sounds like it's going to be the best. And I'm literally just going to paste in the phrase formed from all of the added words. Calculate the hash. There we go. And if I copy that to my clipboard and then come back to the game. Now let's go over to the console and we'll paste that in. And sure enough, that was the answer. Congratulations, floor 7 is now unlocked. So that's, that was quite a straightforward puzzle, so long as you have access to the source material. So obviously this would work in a puzzle hunt scenario or in some sort of online setting where it's possible to search for and find the original texts and then compare the differences to find words that have been added. It's not going to work really in a time limited setting or in somewhere like an escape room or something like that, because it takes quite a lot of time to research and to carefully go through and make sure that you've picked out all the words that have been added and things like that. But other than that, it's quite straightforward. And although we were not given any explicit instructions, I quite like the fact that the words that were added were done in an instructional format. So you know that you were getting the right answer basically, because you are finding what you were lacking before, which was actually what to do. It was the instruction. Now this picture of Lord Byron on the wall here. So most of the levels of this game we've encountered so far have had a portrait of some sort. We don't know yet what their meaning are, but we're guessing that might come in as a meta puzzle at the end. So we'll carry on going through the game. Next time I'll see you in level 7.